solving the solution.
So you should turn down.
It's good to me. That's the legal
So
one.
it's just like Gleb Urvanov MetaMask, they already like, yeah, I know this one.
Okay, let's start. So, why we are here today? That will be a technical presentation about random number generation on Ethereum blockchain made by me. My name is Gleb Urvanov. I am from solar company Gleb Urvanov. I am CTO, Chief Technical Officer, also solution architect. We are primarily focusing on decentralized finance solution, but we provide also outsourcing for crypto projects. So we got a lot of different experience in different areas, and one of them is random numbers required by several of our clients. And I'm going to talk to you about our experience in that field, about what we found, what we don't found, what is good and what is bad in that field. Okay, so from the basics, what is the random number? In perfect world, in ideal mathematical situation, random sequence is sequence of number. Each next element of sequence cannot be predicted. That means it's just some number, and next, taken into account everything we can take into account, the next one cannot be determined, even approximately. So if it is 100, we don't know, will it be 100 next, or will it not be 100 next, of course in given limits. So if we are generating a random number, we want to see completely unpredictable sequence of numbers. Of course, we are not living in an ideal world, and that's why we are using pseudo-random number generators. What are pseudo-random number generators? Those generators guarantee us we cannot predict the next number in the sequence with everything we can take into account inside our system. That means if we can know everything in the world, well, we cannot predict it. If we have certain information we cannot, by some reason, access, we will predict the information. We will predict the next number. But we cannot because we don't have access to required information. So, if we have 100 as a random number, it gives us no idea what will be the next number. And 100, yeah, next 100 after 100, why not? It's still random. Next one, yes, it's still a random, but we need to have a distribution of our random numbers. What does it mean? Since it's completely random and unpredictable, statistically speaking, every number in given range will occur approximately the same amount of time in really large atoms amount. In infinite, in a limit, it will occur equally number of times. That make random number distribution uniform. So, what does it mean? It means if we will draw it, if we will throw a dice infinite number of times, it will show us the same digit equal amount of time, equally infinite amount of times. Well, what do you see here is, well, pretty good distribution of random numbers, because we can not see any big spikes or any big falls. So, how good is it? How smooth is it? Is mathematical question they are not talking about. But given everything said into account, well, why it is difficult? Because you know what can be easy when grab a die and throw it, or grab a coin and flip it. Well, actually, not everything is so easy in our computer systems. And everything is even more difficult. It's going? Oh, I think I just exited. Okay, it's a battery problem, but I believe I have a voice loud enough to make it even without a microphone. So, what makes generation of random number difficult? Because if we have one computer system, we can basically usually know everything what happens inside. But we have a special libraries, we have a special techniques, and when we are using Java, we can just to get random library and get the next digit. Why we can do the same on blockchain system, and what makes it difficult? First of all, blockchain systems are deterministic. What does it mean? That means we give it the same input, it will give us the same output. No causality, no stochastic processes. So we give the input, we get the output, and it's always the same. Nothing is random on blockchain because, well, basically current blockchains are involved from financial systems, and there should be no randomness in financial systems. But it is. Okay, that's another question. And another thing is transparent. Why does it matter? Well, we are just generating random numbers. Why transparency could make a problem? Just because with transparent data, with all the data exposed, we can make a prediction. If we know all the data, thanks to deterministic, which defines the random number, we can get the random number before our random number generator. So let's make transparency the enemy of random number generations. And our blockchain systems are basically transparent, especially thinking about Ethereum. Of course, we can do some tricks with ciphering, and I will show you several ones. But even if we will find a way to find something non-deterministic in our blockchain and hide it somewhere, it still not solve our problems, which several of them are not totally obvious. For example, let's assume we can generate a random number of the range from 0 to n big to begin. So we have a perfect generator which will give us the rate of uniform transformation, perfectly random, completely unpredictable, and we need a number inside the range of 1 to n small. What could go wrong? We can just pick the one random given us by random generator, divide it, make a model operation on the smaller one, and get the result. Why not? Why we should never do that with random systems? Actually, that issue have named model bias, and when we are doing that, when we are doing model operation, it provides us a really big problem with random number generation, the random number distribution, and that's the condition. If our n big is larger than n small, and n big modulo n small is not equal to 0, we do have our distribution corrupt. Why so? Let's take a look at the example. That's our generator. Let's assume it's capable to generate digits in a range from 0 to 3. And all we need is digits in a range of 0 to 2. We just pick the result, the outcome of generator, and divide it by 3. Let's take a look what we will get in the result. We have 0 for 0, 1 for 1, 2 to 2, and 0 to 3. At the first look, it should be okay, but it is not, because in our sequence of 4 possible incomes, we have 3 possible outcomes, with one of them 0 visible 2 times. So we have probability 1 for 1, probability 1 for 2, and probability 2 for 0. So that random number generator will give us 2 times more zeros than 1s and 2s. And that's the model bias. I believe it's pretty standard problem in every random number generator, not only on blockchain, but literally anywhere. And well, probably you have an idea how to deal with it. Anyone? Yeah, sure. The standard approach to deal with model bias is just to remove all freeze. Every result which is out of bound of n small. So if we will get 0, we will process it. If we will get 1, we will process it. If we will get 2, we will process it. But if we will get 3, we will throw the result away and run generation one more time until we get a result inside n small. So actually, not n small, but n small multiple whatever. So when we are in the same z area from n small to n small multiple several times to n, we cannot use the random numbers. We should regenerate them. So that's one of the small things we have to deal with when we are generating the random numbers. So it's not an obvious problem, and many of algorithms currently used on blockchain suffers from model bias. For example, one of them, probably the most popular, uses the block hash. We will see it later. But well, that's the question: how? If it is so difficult, if it is so hard, why we do need it? So there are several approaches on how we can get the random or pseudo-random number on blockchain. First of the approach we can use are oracles. I'm pretty sure you know what oracles are. Is there anyone who don't know what is blockchain oracle? Basically, it is a layer between some application providing us data and blockchain application consuming the data. Because we cannot interact directly, we were not designed for that, we need some intermediate layer to bring the data from provider to consumer application. What is the problem here? When we have a consumer application on blockchain, it's all fair, true, and transparent. We believe it. And actual problem is not the oracle bringing some data, because we already have protocols allowing us inside application on blockchain verify the data was correctly brought by oracle. We have a way to control oracle's work, so we can trust them. But once we cannot trust, the problem is our source of data, our single source of truth. And that model will work only, well, it's not a problem of oracle, it's not on blockchain. It is a problem our single source of truth should be in ideal, perfect world with no liars, with no facts. Just by malicious intent of our source of truth, we will get any value they desire to provide us. Okay, we can say it is paid by their reputation, like say random order, but one day reputation will cost less than revenue from generating the wrong value. And we cannot even control that. If they say it is random, we will say, okay, thank you, and nothing else. So the problem is we cannot control our source of data, even while we can trust oracles. So if not oracles, what then? The interesting mechanism named commit and review, random number generator based on commit and review, was even patented for Ethereum network by company Firewalk. They use it for water risk and patented it. So what is commit and review, and what is the source of entropy, source of randomness for Ethereum network in that scheme? Let's assume we have two users, user 1 and user 2. Acting completely independently and secretly from each other outside blockchain application, they generate two random numbers. And next, encrypting those random numbers. After that, they provide to our blockchain application or contract encrypted values, committing them to blockchain. So everyone now can see encrypted random 1 and encrypted random 2. We don't know the random data itself. We even don't know they are random, but we can see encrypted values. The really important thing, it should happen before any key commitment, before any review. And then both players, both users provide their data, reviewing phase. Okay. User 1 and user 2 are providing decryption keys for their random numbers. And after that, we can combine two random numbers from user 1 and user 2 to a single final random number. It is, we can see here a plus sign, but it's not actually a summary. It can be any function of combining two random numbers into a single one. I prefer logical operations. Someone might prefer really summarizing them and then making modular, but it does not really matter here. So, what we have? We have two sources of randomness combined into a single one. And why it is important we have two of them? Because user 1 can have malicious intent to steal something. But assume it's a game, and it's a game with the money. And actually every game on blockchain platform is a game with money because we have to pay for transactions. So, let's assume user 1 wants to steal user 1 money. And let's say if the result will be 0, he will get money. If the result will be 1, he will get money. Wait, so user 1 can manipulate their own random number, while user 2 made such thoughts too. And after that, but while we are combining them, it's not longer random 1 or random 2. It's just new combined value. Neither user 1 nor user 2 can predict. But what's wrong with that mechanism? Except it was never implemented by Firewater or patented it. Yeah, we just patented it, say we will use it, and never actually did it. Okay. Let's assume let's name user 2 as a house, well, casino, and user 2 as a player. Let's think about a situation when user 2 house wants to predefine the outcome. But to predefine outcome of that operation, the house will need to know random number 1 secretly generated by user, by player. But what if we have more than 1 user? Well, obviously, we still should get at least 1 random number from player and 1 from house. But it is not enough, because if you will have 2 players in game, and 1 will want to provide a real random number, and the second one will not. He will be together with house in a malicious agreement to use the random. We could agree we will use the user 2 random number, which is not actually random, and that way, and this way predict the outcome. Another problem is sabotering the process. If user don't want to provide a real random number fairly generated outside the system and just saving zeros every time, the house will understand it sooner or later, and he will be able to predict the outcome of user random generation. And that's why if house can predict the random 1, he can send the random 2 to anything they want, and this way, just give it a moment, predict the outcome and always win. So, what we can do is it? In a system when we have a lot of players on one side and only 1 on the other side, we can do a really simple thing. We can use every single random number provided by every participant. And in this case, even 1 true random number will be enough for us to generate a random outcome, because no one will know what is this random number. And everyone will have a agreement, let's say malicious agreement, to predict the outcome when they will fail. But someone's like an ideal random number generator, but we have 2 problems. First of all, we really do need participating of every single user. Why so? Because if 1 user will fail to provide a random number or his commitment to the system, other users could make an agreement to get the result not in favor of that user, but in their favor. Let's say it's a game about 100 Ether, and that user failed to commit. And other users, 99, let's assume everyone is paying 1 Ether. 1 is failed to commit, and others say, okay, let's predict the random number and split the reward. And everyone will get more than paid space in the game. So we need everyone to commit. Okay, no problem. Let's assume everyone won't know what to do and everyone willing to do it. But remember the modular bias problem I showed you before. If we will generate modular biased digit, modular biased number, as I said before, we have to regenerate it. We have to generate it again and again. It will require commitment from every participant to be fair. That does mean it can be several acts of commitments from every participator in the system, and every participant is interested in providing true random number. It's a lot of work actually for just to get one random number. We can have hundreds of participants, let's say it's digital lottery, 100 participants in the lottery, and everyone have to generate random number 3 times and provide it and pay for transaction. Well, will anyone use it? I don't know. I'm not really sure. Okay, and the third, and again very popular way to generate random numbers in blockchain is block hash. Because hash of our block is used to be kind of random and unpredictable. Because miners usually don't care about putting the exact characteristics in block hash. They're just trying to find block as fast as possible and to earn from it as much as possible. They don't really care about mathematical properties of block or resulting block hash. So that's why we can assume the block hash is random. So in a moment time of t, we want to use a block hash. But since we are speaking still about Ethereum, but hypothetically and mathematically, we are still an Ethereum block network. In a moment of t, we can only use block hash of block t minus 1. So if we are making a transaction, if we are calling some function of getting a block hash, we should use block hash of block already existing on chain. Otherwise, it will result as 0 as a result. What does it mean? That means the person who will trigger the function already know the outcome function if the transaction will be fast enough. Let's say, well, in Ethereum network we have 10 to 30 seconds for block, and let's say our transaction will pass in 1 second. We have a lot of time even to look manually on what is the block hash and what is the random outcome, and then just to create a transaction with a lot of gas used, a lot of expensive gas used. And that's why we will define the outcome of a random number generation. So it's not random at all actually. It is used in several applications across the blockchain, in games and lotteries, and we just assume no one will be fast enough to predict the outcome, but it is not true. Let's make an improvement. A really simple one. So if the problem is we already know block hash of block t-1, let's use the future key. Hello, everything? Oh yeah, we will make an improvement later. Another problem I already mentioned is block hash could be predicted. Okay, just get a little bit messy. Since even if we will use a future block hash of future block, we just can wait. Instead of getting the result at moment of t, we can get the result of moment t plus 2 and have the block hash of t plus 1. So in the moment of calling the result of generating the number of block t, we don't yet have the block t plus 1. We don't have its hash, and we cannot predict it. And in moment t plus 1, we call the result function, which actually gets the data and provides us a random number. We cannot affect the number of blocks it is picked, and when we call the function, we don't know the block hash yet. And the next question is, who defines the block hash? As I said before, it is miners. And miners don't care about their block hashes long enough it is not profitable for them. And let's assume we have some kind of lottery with a lot of money. And it is worth cracking, it is worth manipulating the block hash for miner if the potential reward of such an intent will be more profitable than just mining. Because it is more difficult to calculate a block with specifically given block hash instead of just any one. We need to put an additional effort to create such a block, and if it is pays out, if the deduction in probability of finding a block worth it, if you will get more money, miners probably want to do that. So that's the problem. If miner will get better reward for cracking our game than from generating a block. You might for that. But there is improvement which preventing miners from getting into that. Because how miners will understand he need to do something, we need to do something. So if in moment of time t, we are starting calling our random number generation process, miner will see it. And they will see all the data we are passing it, and will see our smart contract, because remember, Ethereum is a transparent platform. So we need to hide some parameters from miners, prevent them predicting the outcome of random generating function. We can achieve it by combining block hash method with commit and review method. So we will not only call random generation function, but also commit our random number to the blockchain. So we will have our random one encrypted on blockchain, and no miner can understand what it is without us just decrypting it. So it will cost nothing for them to calculate some specific block hash, but there is still a value hidden from miners. And when we will get the required information, block hash of predefined block, we will combine it with our random number, thus effectively preventing miners from predicting our random number. Do you have an idea what's bad in that approach?
We can mine ourselves.
Yes, exactly. That's the problem. We can mine ourselves, and we can get a malicious agreement with miners. And so if it is we who mines and we who provides the random number, we can predict it. So unless we do it, it's kind of safe. But when we are miners, we are providers of all the randomness in the system, well, it's only our reputation which guarantees us to get the random number. So in perfect world, to get a perfect random number generator, every participant should be involved in generation of random numbers. But I believe currently it is not possible for every approach. And while we are trusting to, trusting to provider of lottery or game or blockchain contract, and we do believe that we will provide that number in a fair manner, we will get a random number. But we shouldn't believe anyone it's blockchain. Everything should be mathematically proven and 100% safe. So it's still an open question, what should we do and how we should approach it, but it's definitely better just picking block hash without checking it or getting number from Oracle. Those commit and review patterns or modified block hash patterns are much better than nothing. But that's all we have nowadays. And maybe, just maybe in future version of Ethereum or other blockchains, we will have good random number generators, but I really don't believe it will be 100 perfect as true random number generation. The interesting thing is licensing those random number generation. As I mentioned, many of applications use random numbers inside our lotteries. And many lotteries in many countries should be licensed. And well, the first question from licensing department is how the random number generator work and how we can test it. And usually when they hear blockchain, they say, okay, it's cool guys, we cannot control it, so we will not give you a license. We cannot test it properly because to get a proper distribution, they have to run thousands and millions of tests. They can easily do it with Java application, but on blockchain, they have to test it in-house, of course, by a licensing department. But to run a private blockchain in-house, we don't have specialists. So we just say no. And what do they want? They want a simple Java application running on third-party server, just providing good enough random numbers. So by getting endpoint, calling that endpoint 10 million times, saying, okay, it's good random number distribution, we will license it, and never care again about what does that endpoint do. That's funny because anyone can modify instead of those schemes. Okay, from what sources the presentation was built? Well, I believe everyone who is interested in SEM should take a look at this link. 100% fair Ethereum-based mechanism for generating sets of random numbers. So 100% fair, audited and patented way which doesn't work, which is insecure. Another one, just good overview about what we should do and what we shouldn't do if we want to have a good mathematically proven random numbers. And finally, if you found it at least a bit interesting, that's the size, that's the website of my company. Thank you for visiting today. It was a pleasure to read the presentation.
In my app, right, I used time.now, like present time, as a random number generator. Okay. So in the example which you mentioned, right, you have 100 participants, users who are trying to gamble or with the main server. They generate a random. Each one generates random, right?
Yes.
Can this time.now the time they arrive can be used?
Well, so the question is, can we use timestamp as a source of entropy?
Yeah.
Well, not really, because if you speak about seconds, second for a machine is a lot of time, a big amount of time. If we are speaking about milliseconds, we have only 1,000th of millisecond in 1 second. We can predict how fast our messages will flow and how much milliseconds it will take for our message to reach the network, to reach the application. And that's why we could predict the results, the outcome. Not 100% of time, definitely not. But probably 1 out of 100 will be enough to create a casino. So even if we will be able to predict one result from 100, I will opt for that. So we just have only one well, I had an idea of using milliseconds of timestamp as a source of randomness too, but well, I believe it's predictable.
So what's the problem with this commit and reveal issue? So what's the most significant issue?
The most significant issue, well, mathematically there is no issue with commit and reveal, but the actual real world issue is we have to force every participant to do the commit. If any participant will fail to commit, we will assume casino is playing against them. Like, you know, in online poker rooms, when we have a casino, we have 7 players who working together to get the money of the 8th one. So if anyone will fail to commit, I expect the same situation. So the problem is how actually force everyone to do the fair commitment without any, sabotering the process. Everyone provides the fair random number. I barely can imagine a system with more than 2 users, every of which will provide a fair random number. So it's not a mathematical problem, it's the implementation. Some kind of that approach will use a random DAO as decentralized anonymous organization who is focusing on creating a fair random numbers, but we can, they paying a small amount of money for commitment to creating a fair random numbers. But the question is those small amount of money, is it enough? And do they have their skin in the game? Can someone just came to the addresses they have and ask, okay guys, I will pay you 100 times more than random DAO for you to fake the result? They will reject it? I'm not really sure. And I'm not sure there will be enough people to find, so it will be a decentralized organization of million users. No, I expect it to be 10, 20 active users nowadays. So the idea is good, but the implementation is not yet here. Yep.
So for the blockchain hash method, let's say you needed random numbers at a higher rate than the hash comes in. Is there a way to or are you limited by that?
In this case, we can provide more commitments and get a random number for every commitment. So yeah, in basic method, yeah, we are limited to block rate, exactly as you said. But if we will make more commitments with more random numbers, we can consume every single of them. We are still limited by Ethereum limitations, like we have only a limited amount of transactions which can pass through, or we are limited to block hash storage limitations on Ethereum network. We're not storing all hashes, just some of them.
And then that is a question. What's the benefit of generating random numbers on the blockchain versus, let's say, in the R1 plus R2 method? If you just did that offline, like you're playing a game between dealer and the player, and both of them supply a random number.
If we have only 2 users, I believe commit and reveal with generating random numbers offline is the best method. And it will work until we have only 2 players. Because it's a system of 2 players, any of them should provide a random number, and both of them are interested in providing real random number. So as I said, with big amount of players, it will not work perfectly, but with 2, it's the best method. As you said, generated offline, commit and reveal.
Do you know if there's any competing algorithms or systems for generating random numbers, like Ethereum and other applications on Ethereum right now that require randomness? Like, what are they doing?
Everyone picks their own way. Some of them using in-house oracles, so we have random number generated by their own servers and then provided by the oracle to the system. I believe the most popular way is to use oracleize in combination with random orc, but the only thing which actually guarantees us the randomness is the reputation of random orc, and no one can check others that data is actually real, and I believe they will be not even speaking about millions or billions of dollars instead. And block hash is usually used by small companies or small applications. Even if one random number once a week or so on, and it is usually used in combination with a contract lock. So when we just lock in the contract, not accept any bets, any requests, waiting for a while for a fixed amount of time, and then requesting the random number, so the hash lock in the future. And the random DAO where you can commit and review by
Are there other blockchain systems where it's easier to create a random number than Ethereum?
I heard something like that, but I'm not here to answer the question.
Okay.
Anything else? Okay, good. So, thank you for attending the event. Have pizza, beer, and a good talk.
Thank you. Thanks, you.